Hello and welcome to the Faith Building Podcast, episode 55, with your lovely and amazing host, Vladi Kuna.
And Norman Greater. Hi, guys.
Hello and good day. Today's topic is all about vibration. Last time we mentioned that and said we should touch that topic again. And Vladi had a lovely experience this morning that relates perfectly to vibration. And with that being said, Vladi, just kick it off.
Okay, I was walking in a forest this morning with the doggy, and I just realized how we often wait for external sources to make us happy. But are you truly happy? So it is our choice to be happy. We choose what we want to experience. Now, I do understand we may not be experiencing what we desire in the real world or in the physical world. However, it is the experience, it's the response we have to it and what we choose to do with it that really matters. So can you choose to be happy? Absolutely. You can choose to be happy even when things that are right now in your world are different. And sometimes don't condition yourself to feeling this inner happiness with something outside. Like if I buy myself a new car, I will be happy. No, you won't. You might be for a very short period of time, but that's not really the inner true happiness. And yes, Norman mentioned about the vibration, and it really vibration is an energy. And you can choose to be experiencing things differently because we live in such a rushed world. We chase. It's almost like a headless chasing. It's a ticking of the task, setting the goals and rushing through the goals. But are you enjoying the journey? Do you pay attention to all the friendships you make? Because trust me, when you reach the end of your life, and then you will have a success because obviously what you desire, you will experience if you give it enough energy. However, pay attention to who's going to be around you when you're there. Will you have people to share it with? Will you have things that actually you leaving footprints in people's hearts? I love that actually. I don't think I've said it before. But the truth is, it is because everyone you meet gives you a lesson and message, but you do the same. So why not to choose just to be happy? And Norman was actually in episode 54. He did mention the it was a Nightingale,
Nightbird, yeah.
Nightbird, and we love that girl. I remember when we both seen that show that we cried because she did say, "You cannot wait until life isn't hard anymore to decide to be happy." She had like 2% chance to live. So what are you waiting for? And I don't mean it in a specific, because I don't want to call up on anything, but sometimes it's really just opening an eyes and awakening and saying, that's why we sometimes experience big challenges, diagnoses, health issues, marriage issues, partnership issues, love issues, financial issues, bankruptcies, business issues, because we need to awaken to something. That everything that happens to us must happen. It must happen, regardless whether we perceive this as a good thing or a bad thing. Even the bad things have to happen to us because we need to awaken to something. We need to realize that there's so much more to life than we pay attention to. So with that, I'll hand it to Norm, but really pay attention to your feeling because you can have a cup of coffee and are you enjoying it? Do you make a cup of coffee into your special cup and you smell the coffee and you feel so much gratitude and such a joy in the moment of having this moment with your coffee? Or do you just press the coffee machine while you're running and getting ready for a work and grabbing it on the way to work, maybe putting it in your car and drinking it half cold? That's not enjoyment. There's no joy in it. So it's no satisfaction. The vibration is going to be always lower. Because gratitude, love, joy, let's talk about high vibrational emotions, it depends what scale you're on as well. I can experience joy, Norman will experience joy, you guys will experience, and every one of us will be actually with our joy on a different frequency. So it also has that energy level to it. So it's really important you pay attention to, am I thinking from the joy, from the gratitude, from the happiness? And then making decisions from that. Norm, to you.
Thank you. There's one thing I realized yesterday or 2 days ago that helps us being more joyful, happy, grateful, whatever you want to name it, and it's the polarity of it. As you probably are aware, I'm on a cruise ship right now since December 14th, I think, so almost a month by now. And we have a cruise ship. It's a German company where everything is included. So you don't have to buy a drinking package. You don't need to buy ice cream separate and a package for this and that. Everything is included. The tips are included. The food is included. The drinks are included. The ice is included. Basically, almost everything. And if you're here for a month, you seem from time to time lose the positivity in it because it's just normal. It's like if you would have snow every day, the full year, or sunlight every day of the year, whatever you prefer, you would not really be grateful for it anymore. But if you experience rain or the opposite, then you realize what you have. So for the end of this cruise, which goes on for another week, we end up in St. Martin. We then fly from St. Martin to Miami and board another cruise ship, but a different company. Not a German company and not a cruise ship like we have right now, where everything is being included and paid. You have to pay your water, your drinks, your everything. You don't even have a water dispenser on the boat like what we have here. We have glasses like that. We can fill that up 500 times a day. But on the other cruise ship, you're not allowed to bring any drinks. And even for regular plain water, if it's outside of lunch, dinner, breakfast, you have to pay. And already in the process of finding a drinking package and that the tips get charged $20 a day per person to the room. Like I cannot decide if I tip people for good work. It's kind of already being taken away from me. What I don't like. Like I like to thank people gratefully if they do a good job, but to just give them something for not doing a good job, or I don't know what they do, all stuff I don't like. And this I told the people in my keynote yesterday on board and said, can we just be happy about the things we have and grateful instead of complaining all the time about little tiny things? As you said, Vladi, you cannot wait until your life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. We cannot say when, then. When the weather is great, then I'm happy. When the money comes in, then I'm grateful. Because the vibration we are sending out at the moment right now, that's what's being drawn back to us like a boomerang or something. You throw it away and it comes back to us through people, through circumstances, through what's called your life. And therefore, if you experience stuff that you don't like right now, the easiest way to change your vibration is make other people happy, joyful, grateful, rich, successful, whatever you want to have. Anke and I were invited last night at the cruise director's evening show. He has like a TV show, but just on board TV. And he said, so when we're done after this lucky hour with two lucky coaches and luck coaches, we will win the lottery. So he kind of pronounced that we tell him and the audience the secret of being happy. So he asked us a couple of questions, and then I turned the whole thing around and I started asking him questions about his life. And he was glowing and blooming and telling with his whole heart and hands and everything he had. And at one point he said, why shouldn't I ask you questions? What did you do here? Like, you took over my job. And I just stopped the whole conversation. I turned to the audience and said, see, the easiest way to be happy in life is to make other people happy. To make other people happy first, because he was happy, which gave me a good feeling. So whatever I gave, I received back. And that's the easiest way. If you say, how can I change my vibration? Nothing is good. I don't like this. I don't like that. Just look at the polarity and say, if I would not have $5 on my account, but minus 5,000, how would I feel about plus 5? I think you would be very joyful and happy. So why not start being happy now? Even if you say, well, but I have minus 5,000 right now. Be happy that you don't have minus 500,000. Because if you would have minus 500,000, you would be happy about minus 5,000. And this is what Vladi said about Nightbird. She said she has a 2% chance of survival. But 2% is not 0%. And
Yeah.
people should know how good this is to know you have 2%. And all of us, we have way more, I assume, a higher chance of survival. But sometimes we forget and we start to complain about this and we mourn about that and we complain about the other thing. Let's just stop right there, focus on something that's even worse, put it in relation, and let's just be grateful about who we are, what we have, and do the very best we can at this very moment, that we can radiate a better vibration, a better frequency out, because the moment we do that, something better will come back.
You know, as you were talking, such a great story and such a great life story, because that's what we all do. I mean, we if we pause and find, it's like, I have a new car, you have a new house, you have a new this, and but it's people find time to complain if something goes wrong. But how many of us find 5 minutes to actually email the companies and people to thank them for the service? We're posting, if you're on a social media, how many times you actually spend posting something like, oh, thank you so much for doing this for me, thank you so much for doing, because it makes the other person happy, and it also shows your friends that you're using somebody's services and you're very happy with it. So it's this ripple effect of happiness and joy and satisfaction that actually goes far. As Nora was talking, what popped into my mind was Bob Proctor, and I know it was Earl Nightingale who always says, find good in everything and everybody, regardless how negative you may seem to raise. Because remember law of polarity, and if you imagine the feng shui symbol, where there's the black part and the white part, the female and the male, but there is always, in the black part there is a little white dot, and in a white part there is a black dot, because there isn't 100% of positivity and 100% of negativity. It's who we feed more. Meaning we could talk about the wolf and the eagle story. You know, it's like the wolf represents the howling wolf, the negativity, whereas the eagle represents the greatness, the happiness, the freedom. Now, who do you feed? Meaning, what is your state of vibration? Going back to vibration. Am I happy or am I miserable? Because whichever one of these states you feed more, and you know which one it is, regardless what you would love to do, that's what becomes dominant part of you. And we focus on things we don't want. That's why we don't experience the stuff that we love. And sometimes, I'm going to say this, I know there is like a Kabbalah teachings and stuff, and lots of healing. So I did speak to my healer, who is my guru. I call her my energy guru. She's absolutely amazing and really high on frequency. And I said to her, sometimes I just don't understand why I have to, as all we asking these questions, why do I have to experience certain things? Because looking at the positivity, the change, the transformation, you sometimes almost questioning, like, I feel that majority of me is always positive and giving and genuinely feeling great. But as Norman was pointing out, it's through the polarity. The law of polarity is one of the most important laws actually to understand, because it is through this law that you live in a harmony and you understand the deep appreciation. If we don't experience the lows, we cannot understand how the highs are amazing, because how would you differentiate it? If you're always healthy, I'm always healthy, and before Christmas I lost my voice. I mean, oh my goodness, I experienced my sort of feeling unwell for 2 months. Very unusual for me, very unusual. And I thought how weird it was, like I couldn't speak, and I'm talking all the time, you know, like you can actually see some of the episodes. I was like coughing, I had to eat sweets. It was difficult for me to speak for a longer period of time. I realized how grateful I am for feeling well and vital and radiant, when I can just hop on a call's rehab. Because when you're not unwell, or when you're not well, that's the way to put it, when you're not well, you realize how it's disturbing, regardless whether you want to or not. How doesn't matter how strong your mind is, but you realize that I can't actually smoothly run this. There were times we had to reschedule. I could not even talk, and this is not like me. So the reason is, but it's meant to happen to me, because we all have to appreciate and find gratitude even in the darkest parts and the negative experiences and the stuff that we don't like, because that is the lesson for us. That is like, I am so grateful, I'm always so healthy, and I'm just realize how smooth my life is in terms of coaching, teaching and stuff, and how much just losing a voice can disturb the whole flow of my work, which I love doing. but really focus on the good things. You can always find the good thing. Always. There is maybe lots of negative news. Stop watching them. It's you who chooses what vibration you put in. Are you listening to bad news and saying, "Oh, I know. I mean, the economics, the war, the everything." I mean, if I sometimes just cross my because my husband would watch something, or I mean, he doesn't really watch it a lot as well, but sometimes he's got something on and he's like, "Do you even know what's going on in the world?" I mean, seriously, I listen to three things and I feel already depressed from those three news, and your mind is already being fueled by fear and scarcity and luck. And you can vibrate this, and then you start making decisions from this state. Oh my goodness, I can't spend anything because now we're in this time. It's us. And I know I will find this out for you for sometimes next time when we talk. Even Churchill said that be very careful, because there are very powerful people exercising this control. And if you're not careful how much power you're allowing them to have, you will suffocate from the freedom. You will be have to take a deep, I can't remember the word he used, but it's really up to us. If we feel freedom, all we need to do is be kinder, be more, find more joy, be loving, think more, because if you're in control of yourself, and you cannot be in control of others, because it will backfire you one day. Even people in power, you can't do anything about it. You can't control this world, but you can control your world. And it's so important that you take control of your own world and make it the happiest place on the planet. That will radiate to others. You will inspire others to actually elevate to that level as well. And the whole vibration of the earth will rise as well. And lots of things which we cannot actually influence, but we can influence it this way, changing our world, and be happier. Norman.
So true. And maybe the question arises in one's mind, can I not be sad anymore? Can I not be frustrated anymore? Should I be happy all the time? I think, first of all, it's not possible, because each and every person on this planet has certain triggers that trigger you off. Usually your better half, your husband, your wife, your spouse, they know exactly, also the kids, how to push those buttons, even though if you think you have total control. And maybe if you're a monk and you sit on a stone every day and you meditate 16 hours, you're not you're not really affected by that anymore. But I think most human beings in everyday life, we all have something where at one point we just blow up.
Yeah.
Let's just share with you the manifestation cycle, because there is something where you can really blow out steam. Because the first thing in the cycle of manifestation is you should get really, really mad, but with deliberate intent, which
Yeah.
means you don't get out of control because your emotions take over and your body just follows the emotions, and you're totally lost in space. You're really focusing on being mad and saying, I'm not gonna take this anymore. And again, you don't do this because your brain just runs the show. You do it very deliberate. You do it focused. You do it on purpose. Because the more you get mad about something, you use your seven nerve strings in your mind to bring up energy, because you have seven for negative and one for positive. So if you're just, the world is happy, I'm grateful, I'm joyful, you don't really get the whole energy you have in your body. So get mad. That's the first point. As mad as you can and want. Second, take the madness and turn it around and say, now I know what I don't want, because I got so frustrated and mad about it. And you can already see and feel my vibration behind it. There's much more power than, oh, I'm so happy and grateful that. No, I'm getting mad. So when you got mad, the second part is, what do you want? Because out of this, what you don't want, you create actually what you want. You make up your mind and say, now I know what I hate, what I dislike. So what would I like? So you focus on that. With point number three, you feel in possession of it now. And we talked about this so often, and you hear this very often. Just say, I am healthy. I am joyful. Just speak it, feel it. Go through all five senses in a way that you already have it now. Be joyful, be grateful, be happy, and just experience. And now you say, but I don't have the million yet. I don't have the clients yet. I don't have my partner that I want to have yet. Maybe you think, I have no idea how this would feel to have a million or to have a partner or to be more happy or joyful or grateful or healthy. I think you know exactly how it feels, and for that reason, you want to have it. Because if you would have no idea how it would feel, even though it might be still and only in your mind, you just don't want to have it. You actually know how it will feel. So in step 3, you're just being in that moment. You feel it, you see it, you smell it, you taste it. Every sense that you can get involved helps. And step number 4, to close the cycle, is very important. And then you let it go. You let it go means you say yourself, even if it does not come, I'm very happy. You detach yourself from, I need to have it and I'm mad or sad or lonely or frustrated if I don't have it. Because that is what's the key about the vibration. As long as you tell yourself, I'm healthy, I'm rich, your subconscious mind says, no, you're not. Just check your bank account. So the vibration is kind of mixed, but in the moment you let it go and say, I got frustrated, then I made up my mind what I want to have. I felt myself, I saw myself, I heard myself, all the 5 senses, how it would be if I have it in the now. And then I release attachment and tell myself, even if it never comes, it's totally okay with me. You totally let it go. And with that, you go back to a kind of neutral vibration, at least not an anti-vibration, which would be very sad. And maybe you want to play with that, because we are in charge of our vibration and not the politics, not the economy, not the neighbor, not your spouse. It's all up to you. It's your decision. And we wish that you make better decisions for yourself. And what better decisions are, we cannot tell you, because only you can tell that. And maybe Vladi can bring it home with a little shorter episode today and close the whole topic of vibration for today's episode.
I will ask you one question, guys, which is actually summing it up. What does happiness mean to you? And I love what Norman was talking about, because it doesn't really matter. And we told you many, many times over the last year, it's what you want, what you feel, not your parents, not your kids, not your spouses, not your bosses, not anyone. It's you. Do you really know what makes you happy? And be honest, be brutally honest with yourself, because it doesn't really matter that whether what makes me happy may not make Norman happy or others. You know, it's like, I'll give you an example. I love climbing. It just gives me so much joy. My friend looks at my picture. She said, I just see your pictures and my whole body goes into a spasm. You know, I used to. So somebody like Norman loves sea and waves. I love the sea. But if you throw me off the boat in the middle of the deep sea, it's one of my deepest fears. So really, it's like, it's not going to make me happy if you just dump me in the sea and leave me in there floating. Whereas other people would be like, I'm in heaven, just leave me here. You know, this is very important. Take a list and write down 10 things that make you the happiest. And say this, I am the happiest when, like, I love my coffee. I love smelling it and enjoying it. I find so much joy in walking. Like, I love outdoors and hiking. It gives me so much joy. I love people. So I love talking and helping. You know, I love my job. But there are things I don't enjoy. So really, it's not important whether I will be doing the things that make you all happy, because that's not making me happy. So be honest with yourself. And I'm going to land it with that. What does happiness mean to you? Write those things that are truly fueling you. Whenever you do this, somebody is shopping, somebody is actually speaking. It doesn't matter what it is, but it's yours. It is just yours and your list. And try and do more of the things that make you happy. If music, what type of music makes me happy? You know, everybody listens to different songs and raises their vibration. It's important you do the thing that helps you to raise vibration and inner happiness, because that's how you will become more and more happier, by giving yourself every day something that is just fueling your happiness. That's from me, and we can possibly talk about the positive and negative emotions next episode.
Sounds like a good plan. So let's plan that for episode 56. We wish you a wonderful week. Stay shining, stay vibrating in a high frequency that all your wishes, dreams, and ambitions you have come true. And we know you will master it. Just stick to it every day, every day, every day, a little better, a little better, a little better. And we see and hear you again next week. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.